Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user Dr. McPuffy. My husband, 32 male, is insisting that we impregnate his friend after finding that I, 32 female, am unable to conceive. I am honestly in a bit of shock after everything that has transpired in the past 24 hours and need some unbiased opinions to get me through. A little background. My significant other and I have been married for 4 years and together for 7. He is a civil engineer who is more so ambivalent to his career. His real passion lies in his hobbies, our relationship, and his friends. I am an emergency medicine doctor and this is my passion. I love my husband, my friends, and I have hobbies, but my work is my absolute passion. Becoming a doctor was my dream since I was 12 and I have made it a reality. Now my issue. About 14 months ago, my husband was pushing me to get pregnant. He wanted a baby. I honestly did not. I was finally hitting my stride at work. We just bought our first condo together and weren't living a really friendly kid life. I did not tell him this, mostly because I was a coward and we had never really disagreed before. So I kept my mouth shut and decided it wouldn't be a huge sacrifice to have a baby. I could make it work. We got pregnant. I was miserable. Pregnancy did not suit me and I wanted it to be over. I felt disconnected from everything, especially my pregnancy, and sought out therapy. My therapist told me that I was holding resentment against this baby as I was in a great spot in my career and was more worried about that than my unborn child. She was right. I worked on this and towards month 6 I was really excited to have this baby. My husband and I were in a better place. My resentment and attitude really hurt our relationship during this time. Everything was going well until it wasn't. Around 7 months in, our baby was born as a stillbirth, and I had some horrible complications which have cost my chances of ever getting pregnant at an incredibly low percent. I know that I am never getting pregnant. After the initial shock, recovering from the physical trauma and the emotional trauma, I won't lie, but I felt relieved. Massive relief. I didn't want to be a mother then, and I will down the road, but I am a firm believer that this was just not meant to be. My husband took this harder, but with some therapy on both our ends, we seemed to be in a good spot, until last night. Last night, my husband approached me. He said that he really wants us to have a kid and forgives me for losing our son. He knows that I cannot conceive, but reminded me that he is more than capable. I had to remind him that we have no options. If we want a baby, then we need to look into adoption or getting eggs donated and going the surrogacy route. And right now, we aren't in a financial position for either. Then he asked, what if there was another way? Naturally, I asked what? He told me that there was a woman at work that he has known for several years. Apparently, she knows about all of our marital problems and knows all about my health issues over the past year. He said that they recently went to drinks together. I was on an overnight shift, and after a few drinks, she offered to not only donate eggs, but to be our surrogate. This seems too good to be true, right? Yep. She will only do this if my husband impregnates her the natural way, having sex with her during her ovulation period until she gets pregnant. I was baffled by this. First, he was considering it and seemed genuinely excited about this. Second, that this woman would offer such a thing without ever having met me. And finally, that he had shared such intimate details with her. He said that he then followed up with her when they were both sober via text and she responded, "Oh, I would love to have your baby." This seems odd to me and I question the mental stability of this woman. But then my husband's entire demeanor shocks me. I told him I wasn't sure about this. If we go the surrogate route, I would prefer it be all anonymous and our surrogate be a stranger. I don't want this getting messy or having to worry about running into the egg donor. Instead of seeing the validity of my opinions, he told me that having a baby with him was non-negotiable. That this friend wanted to help us. He wouldn't mind doing it her way and it would be the most cost-efficient way since we just discussed how we cannot afford it at this time. He told me that if I love him and want a baby, then I will do this for him. I tried to explain to him that I am not sure if I am ready for this and that I don't know if I am comfortable with all of this, especially with him sleeping with someone else. He brushed that off, telling me that it is no big deal if he were to sleep with her and that I am overreacting. That he has stood by me while I got my dream and he was left alone and ignored. I never knew he felt this way and that I owed it to him to let him do this. Today I looked up this woman on Facebook and she is very attractive. I would say that my husband and I are both average looking, but she is definitely striking, which makes my anxiety go even higher. Why do this for us? I don't get what she gets out of this. Am I overreacting? This seems completely bizarre for me and I am now questioning everything in our relationship. What should I do? Well, OP, first things first. This is a big nope. I get that your husband wants to have a child, but the way he's gone about it is absolutely wrong. First of all, he should have never said anything to this woman regarding your marriage life, your health, or anything of that sort. That is incredibly personal information that should remain only within the couple and people that you both trust. And that is only if you're willing to share. Also, his use of the word forgiveness for your son, that's not right. That is in no way your fault and it should not be used in any kind of argument. That is emotional manipulation. And regarding this woman, well, she's definitely doing some kind of play to get your husband or something like that because honestly, like you say, why do this for you guys? I don't think she's some sort of saint. Now, the only way I see that your husband thinks this is right is because of what you said. Having a child is his dream, and what happened to your child being stillborn definitely affected him more than he let know and more than therapy could help. Because what he's proposing is absolutely mental, but he thinks it's okay because it will deliver a child to you both. I think you need to talk to your husband to shut this down and actually ask him to go to therapy because he's definitely not over his grief. And what do you guys think? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Korayus says, everything about this is very, very weird. Also, the last time someone posted a story like this where her husband suddenly was very insistent that a friend of his be a surrogate, it turned out that he was cheating with the friend and she was already pregnant. Not to be overly cynical, but this sounds suspicious. And OP responds, it's unbelievably weird. I feel like I'm living in an awful Lifetime movie right now and have no idea what to do. You're right, it's suspicious, incredibly so. I am worried about the cheating thing and maybe her wanting her own baby, but why even approach me then? I just don't know how to handle this going forward with him. Banana Jammies says, tell him that you are very concerned about his mental health. That he is clearly still struggling with his grief over the lost baby because only someone who was beside himself with sadness would ever consider such a thing. Tell him that you want him to stop talking to this woman immediately and also start going to grief counseling together, stat. Make it clear that you love him deeply and think he is deranged. Watch how he reacts to all of this. Then, on the side, start getting your ducks in a line in case you need to divorce him. Contact a lawyer and find out what he would end up with financially and condo-wise should you break up. It sounds like he's already cheating and exiting the marriage. Don't let him find a way to pin it on you. Flamingoides says, are you sure she's not already pregnant? And OP responds, I don't think she is. He told me that they mapped out her cycles and insinuated that I could help figure out when it's best for her, and that we could aim for a January insemination date so that we could have a fall baby. There is no way that if she is already pregnant, assuming 6+ weeks, that they could fool me with a fall baby. Isor says, so many things wrong here. He sought out this woman, gave intimate personal details and decided without confirming with you? Especially the fact that he mapped this woman's cycles with her to find a specific date, which is a gross amount of involvement, especially all without talking to you first. I'd be very skeptical about his actions, besides just the baby-related ones. This is a level of inappropriate I don't think most people could tolerate, and I worry it will seep into other areas of your life. What happens if you push the idea that you don't want to have a baby? How will he react? Also, I am so sorry about the stillbirth. Even if it did provide relief, that's such a traumatic experience. And Dopey responds, it is horribly traumatic, physically and emotionally. I'm still working through it, but thank you for your kind words. And it's all wrong. I don't know what is worse for me, the emotional cheating or the possible physical cheating. His blatant disregard for my feelings is pretty up there being the worst too. Alright, well, the community definitely thinks this is effed up, as would anybody in their right mind. So now let's move on with the update to see what happened next. Thank you to everyone who commented on my last post and to those who PM'd me. This is long, so please bear with me. I spoke with my husband on Tuesday after he got home from work and before I had to leave for work. I explained to him that even though I do want kids down the road, I would not be comfortable with his friend being our surrogate and that this would not change for me, ever. All of it made me uncomfortable and honestly made me question his fidelity. He was shocked by this. His exact words were, "Are you saying that I cheated on you?" I laid it out for him, pointing out a lot of things that were pointed out to me from my original post and stated that even if he hadn't yet physically cheated, that he emotionally cheated. He said that he did have an emotional connection with her, but beyond that, nothing else. I asked him if they had sex, kissing, anything sexual at all. He was baffled that I would even think this and adamant he did not have any sexual contact with her. He reiterated that he loves me and I am the only one he wants. The whole idea of this was because he wanted to give us a family and help repair the loss. This was just a way to do that, and he never saw it as cheating because it would be something we would both agree to. I told him that isn't true because he emotionally manipulated me or tried to into going along with it. I told him I needed to know what their relationship was like. He admitted that over the past year, even while I was pregnant, he confided in her about my obvious lack of interest in the pregnancy, my disdain towards motherhood, his fear of me hating our baby, and the issues that persisted in our relationship. Apparently, she was shocked that I would feel this way towards a baby. She told him that she has only ever wanted to be a mother. Since then, they have only gotten closer, but he denies it has ever gotten physical or that he felt any romantic inclinations towards her. He said that the surrogacy was completely her idea and she has been hinting at it for weeks, telling him how she would carry our baby for us, how he deserves to be a dad. But he informed her that we did not have any frozen eggs, so our options were egg donation or adoption, which we couldn't afford. No problem, she suggested to use her eggs, which is how the plan took shape. He said that they could do artificial insemination, but she said she didn't want medical records of this and natural insemination would keep costs down. I asked him what the F was he thinking talking to her about stuff like this and thinking that this was okay. He looked like a deer caught in the headlights. I asked him how he would feel if I did this, if he was the infertile one and I had an attractive doctor friend knock me up with no strings attached at his suggestion. How would he feel? He had nothing to say to this. I told him that I felt absolutely betrayed by all of this. Clearly, she has some sort of mental health problems and an unhealthy attachment to my husband, but beyond that, his relationship with her is inappropriate. He said, obviously I shared too much. No crap. I told him that I am upset that he forgave me for the loss of our baby, which I had no control over, and that he used that to emotionally manipulate me. He apologized for that. He never meant for it to come out like that and in no way blames me. After that, everything calmed down, but I told him I needed some space from him for a bit. He asked if our marriage was over. I told him I didn't think so, but this has been a really emotionally turbulent few days and I need to process it. He told me that he does not want our marriage to be over if this was something I was considering. He loves me more than anything and cannot bear to lose me over this. That losing our baby was devastating and made him depressed, confused, and angry, but he does not want to lose me at all. I told him he should have thought about that before planning to stick his penis in crazy, not my finest moment. I told him that if he wants to keep open communication, he needs to cut ties with her. Obviously, he works with her, but nothing beyond whatever work contact they have to have. He needs to go to individual counseling and come to at least one counseling session with me per week. Before he left, he changed his phone number, blocked her on Facebook, and deactivated his account. Told me that he would give me access to whatever I wanted to see that the relationship is severed and that it was nothing more than what he has told me. His parting words were, "I just wanted to build a family with you," which absolutely gutted me. Wednesday afternoon I checked his email. There was nothing. Nothing in the deleted bin or recover deleted items bin in Outlook. Facebook was hard to look at. There were a lot of chat messages between the two of them spanning the last 8 months when he added her on Facebook. Overall, his messages were friendly. A few times he was flirty, but never sexual or what I would consider too much for what should be friends. But hers were pretty clear in her meaning. The messages are clear. She's making some kind of play for him. I took screenshots of all the conversations. Don't worry, I triple checked for any deleted messages, hidden apps, or other messaging services, and re-deactivated his Facebook. I have his iPad, so I was able to look at the iMessages on there. They appear to delete every 30 days, which left me with that to look at. Overall, the texts and chats line up with his story, but the whole exchange about the logistics makes me sick. She talks about making the baby as though it's a date, that she doesn't want it to be sterile or feel like she's being used. Her comments were inappropriate, but he never stopped her or corrected her. She even insulted me several times when he expressed concern about how I would feel, saying things like, "She's cold-hearted," and "maybe you should just do this on your own so you don't have to worry about her rejecting the baby." He didn't really stand up for me, but said that he didn't think I would do that. It was all very hard to read, but I feel better about my decision overall. We didn't really speak on Wednesday. He checked in a few times, but I let him know that we would talk Thursday. Thursday morning, he let me know that he turned in his letter of resignation Wednesday morning. Without any prompting on my end, he resigned from his job, which I appreciate, but doing it without talking to me and making sure we are okay financially wasn't the best decision, and has cut off any way for her to contact us. He hasn't heard from her, but doesn't intend to seek her out to say goodbye either. He apologized, he just thought he was doing the right thing and thought this would make me happy. I still feel extremely betrayed. He is still dealing with the loss and other things. We both agreed that our communication has really deteriorated in the past year and that we need to fix this. So, no lawyer, no gym, just therapy for us. Extended update from OP's comments. I think he talked about it with his brother, who was probably like, "Bro, this is absolutely the worst idea you have ever had, and she is probably going to drop some divorce documents on you immediately." Because when we did talk, he mentioned that he thought about this a lot and realized how awful it all sounded after he left. Now, he doesn't really blame me, but it was easy to direct his anger at someone rather than just have it bottled up. We need to work on this. When we spoke Thursday, and in the days since, he seems more aware of how bad this was on his side. He really wants to show me that our marriage is 100% his number one priority, and I believe it. He has always been super supportive of my career, but I guess he feels that I put my career above him, and he wouldn't be wrong. This is something I need to work on, because going to work for 2 days and questioning if my marriage was going to survive made me realize that work is not above my marriage. Here's the thing though, I do want a family with him. I just wasn't ready the first time. I'm not ready now or anytime soon. I told him that in 2 years I would probably be ready, and he's willing to wait until then. This whole thing was completely out of character. What I think is that neither of us recognized the depth of his grief and depression, and she did somehow, and did exactly what a lot of comments have said. She saw an opportunity and took it, manipulating him along the way using his depression and grief. This was a huge issue on my part, and I acknowledge and accept that. I ignored the signs of his depression while focusing on my own. No wonder that he found comfort elsewhere. Not saying that this is okay or that it was appropriate, but I get the why aspect. Having said that, just know that he is not off the hook and is not staying with me currently. I am optimistic, but I am not under the illusion that this will be an easy fix. There is a lot of issues between the two of us. The fact that we both want to fix this is a huge positive. But there are a lot of negatives as well, and they are not going to be easy for us to work through. Well, OP, considering everything, I'm going to count this as a positive. You said it, communication is the most important thing. I think it speaks volumes and in a positive way that both of you had done a proper mea culpa and want to work on this together. That you guys acknowledge that it will be challenging but still want to do it. So on that note, all the best to you both, OP. Hopefully you guys can work through your issues and become stronger as a couple, and who knows, maybe in the future your family will grow. Take care, OP, and thank you for sharing. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.